thinking maybe I could be in this one.
The A-Team is back!
Here we
Hey everybody,
are.
Again.
I'm Roy Cannaday.
I'm Wendy Yi.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Chris Yi.
And today we're talking about our top 10 family games. I like family games.
I enjoy family
Bring
games.
it in,
I play
family.
a lot of family
Bring
games.
it in.
So how did you guys approach like putting together this list? I have a few caveats that are going to be kind of interesting for
Okay.
mine, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go on first. 'Cause everyone's looking. So I even wrote down my specific thoughts
Oh.
because
You're a nerd.
yes.
'Kay.
Well, because I didn't want to say this wrong, right?
Right.
I made mine with the mindset of, well, first of all, we had just done our top 100 games list, so I tried to.
That was a huge part of it.
I
yeah.
tried to avoid just being like, oh, in my top 30 games here are like family weight games. No, I approach this differently.
Right.
These are games that I think have good appeal in terms of family being like, if I'm going to play this with like teenagers down to potentially like 6-year-old kids.
Interesting.
Now it helps that we own a 6-year-old child, so we.
You own him.
Yeah.
Her.
Her.
You
It's a
own
she.
her.
It's a she.
It's a she.
There you go.
So, right, well, I have that, but also like we've played games with different groups of people and introduced games to different people as well. So, who have older kids. So I wanted kind of like a broad general appeal. Plays 4 players at least, because it would be silly to be like, here's our top family games. 2-player only game.
Right. Yeah,
Well,
I
two-player
did the same
only.
thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
different. I don't know. There are single parents out there and stuff, though.
There are.
You know,
yeah, that's
fair,
fair.
that's fair.
But most of them will at least go down. I would say I did something similar, but that would be a complete lie. I did not do that at all.
Oh, wow.
But I looked at this game because, again, in mind with the top 100 that we just did, it'd be so easy just to go, okay, family, done.
Right.
And so, like, if you look at my top 100, which I have not done this to compare, but I'm sure they're going to be in a different order, some of these games. Because I approached this list, how often does my family want to get it to the table? How often
yes.
did my son ask to play this? So it's
Right.
not just my personal enjoyment of the game as well as my thoughts on the mechanisms, but how fun is it in a family environment?
Right.
You know, and so it's very different than my personal list because of that. You know, I felt like I needed to factor in that as well in this ranking.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the way I approached it is I wanted to kind of kick out the kid games because we play kid games
Right.
with our daughter. And so I looked more, I work a lot with the teenage youth at my church, kind of the 12 to 18-year-old range. And I looked at them and I thought some of them are gamers. Oh, not heavy gamers, but some of them are a little bit gamers and then some of them are not. And so I pulled games from a variety of things. And I think that that's more of what I was looking for in my list was a variety. How could I hit up, you know, this one girl over here versus this other girl over here
Right.
in my kind of like if I had a teenage family.
Interesting. Yeah, for me, I just really got games that I enjoy playing with my family in general. So, and since my family skews younger, I feel like if I reapproach this list like in a few years, I might have slightly different games on it because as my family ages or as my kids get older, they're going to play more advanced games. So for me, like just a caveat, mine's probably going to skew a little bit younger, but not necessarily like kids games in general. But I'm not saying that that's fully off the
Right.
list. You know,
I think
Just
mine
games
definitely-
I really like playing with my family.
Right. Mine does skew younger, but it does have that of, you know, okay, but could a 6-year-old also
Right.
play it with a 10-year-old?
Right,
So it's, you
yeah.
know, it's skewed younger because
The
that's,
whole
you know,
family
what I
can
have
play
access.
these games.
But right, both ages need to have fun.
My
with it.
kids liked playing it, and I like playing it, so there's that.
There you go.
Right, and it's
Counts
not
both.
like mine aren't geared towards the 6-year-olds, and then the teenagers are like, okay, we'll play this for them. The teenagers, I think, could also have fun, hopefully
Right.
just as much
Yeah.
playing with them.
Awesome. Well, let's get into it with our number 10.
We got a Rodney in the comments saying, no respect, no respect.
Respect.
No respect for the grandparents. Oh, of course. I mean, these are games that also we could play with my parents as well as them playing it with their granddaughter. Family,
Yeah.
like broad
Something about
family
family.
appeal.
Oh, for sure.
Brought it.
Yeah.
So people.
All right,
Games
so-
you play with people.
So my number 10 is it's a simplification of a bigger game. This one is called My Little Scythe. This is one that our daughter has really liked playing for years now. This one is more cartoonish looking, and it looks like it would more so be for really young kids. But I think that it really has its roots in Scythe, and it has some really good decisions about upgrading your actions, moving around the board, and sharing things with each other in order to get more friendship points, right? I guess it sounds so geared towards kids, but you can play this as an adult playing with a kid. You can play this as hard as you want, and you might not crush the kid. And I think that has a fun little balance of the luck, but also the strategy. You can kind of give some little pointers to younger people playing it, but they'll also just figure it out because it's very intuitive. This was co-designed by a father and daughter, and you can feel that come through. I think this is a great family game. Also, it looks grandiose, and so it feels like oh, the younger kids, I'm playing a big game.
Right.
And also, even the older kids, the teenagers or the parents or the grandparents, whoever, are going to say, this is cool. It's engaging the whole time. I get some benefits on other people's turns. I help other people on their turns. Sharing is cool. I like it. I like this one a lot. My little scythe.
Sharing is magic.
Sharing
is caring.
is perfect.
And love.
My number 10 is also about sharing, I guess. Sharing in defeat. It is 5-Minute Marvel. This is going to be a real-time game where you have a hand of cards and you're trying to play those cards out for certain symbols in order to defeat a stack of minions and bad guys, getting to the ultimate bad guy you're trying to defeat. So it has this real-time element. What I like about this game is when I first got it, my son was pretty young, and the 5-minute was just, one, impossible, and two, just like too much for him to handle. And so I was able to scale it at that point by taking out the real-time element. And then once he was ready for that and we added it in, we just, modified the deck a little bit, and, it has its, hey, you're supposed to start with 20 cards, we started with 10 cards, and now he loves this game, and we're like, but again, I think this is something you're going to see through my list, is games that kind of can grow with your family, so maybe a little bit of rules modification or something like that. And this is one that definitely, I think, is really easy to do. It has a great variety of the characters. It's the main Marvel characters too.
Right.
Like it's not the one you've never heard of. It's the ones you want to be. And
like Medusa, main Marvel characters.
Yes, absolutely, the main ones. But it's a lot of fun, and again, it can build with him until he's ready for that full game. But even the full game is still simple and fun and challenging. So yeah, we've had a ton of fun with 5-Minute Marvel.
I like it.
Nice. All right, my number 10 is Mysterium. This one I was going for the theme. I really want to grab a family or a youth or whatever with the theme. I mean, you're trying to solve a murder through these cool picture cards, and I've actually played this with youth groups, and we have more than 7 players, even though that's technically the player count. But you just put people on teams. Okay, you two are working on this thing, and you two are working on that. Like it just scales so well, big and small groups, different ages, because it's mostly cooperative. I mean, I guess it's all cooperative. It's all cooperative. You can really coach people through things, and when someone works up their way and they really understand the game, then they can be the person who's giving the dreams and the clues and stuff. And so I think that it works with such good different age groups, and for especially teenagers that I work with that aren't gamers, this is something they can play.
That was interesting because I have played this one with my 9-year-old as well, and I found that it was really, really difficult to play. Yeah, just didn't quite get the concept of it. So interesting. I mean, again, maybe teenagers, but that would be that
I
would
still
not
really
be
want to
one
play this
that I
game.
would
I haven't
consider.
played it yet, so it looks
Good
awesome.
stuff.
I have not played Mysterium.
It's so thematic, though.
I know, it looks cool. It's just one I never played.
That is cool.
That is surprising. It's solid. I
Good
really like it.
stuff.
Now we have a Ketchup-palooza to invite you in on that.
Mysterious.
I also want to try 5-Minute Marvel. You've taught my daughter this game and not me. So.
Listen, I teach
I
the
was
best
sitting there
teams.
watching
how to
I
play
taught
the game.
Ruthie. You taught Chris.
No,
Chris's
it's
daughter.
Chris's daughter.
We're
which we
actively
watched.
avoiding you at this point.
Yep.
Does it
I
feel that
guess.
way?
Yeah,
Good.
It should.
100%.
We succeeded.
Okay.
All
I'll
right,
sit in the
my
corner.
number 10 is another Marvel game, but not the same one. This is Marvel United. So this is a game that I think is really cool. Cooperative games as a family are just fun to come together and work together on a common goal. And this is really fun because especially if your kids are into Marvel or your family's into Marvel, watching the movies and stuff like that, it's really one you can get behind the theme. And it's really just matching up the icons, trying to take out the bad guys in different areas. I mean, the bad guys can be different, scaling how difficult they are sometimes. So you can kind of try to pick a bad guy that's not going to crush you to death, or you can play Rhino like I did with my family and just get destroyed. But it's still a lot of fun to play Marvel Marvel United, and the family just has fun picking out all the different characters because there's so many in the game. Especially if you have like Kickstarter edition of this, it's just ridiculous.
Gosh, yeah.
How much content there
We
is.
just recently set it out. We were teaching a friend.
Oh my gosh, right.
And we're like, which one of these do you want to be?
All of them.
Any of them?
I know. I picked my character, and I think 2 or 3 times, like, no, I want it. Oh, no. I'll stick with it. Oh, but wait. Oh, no.
And I just think the chibi nature of this too makes it just so approachable for like so many people, like
Right.
for different age groups. So
Yeah.
yes, Marvel United is my number 10.
Nice choice. Yeah, I was noticing that.
All right. Number 9 is a little push your luck game that has a spooky zombie theme to it. It uses dice. The game is called Dicey Zombies, or Zombie Dice.
Zombie
It's
dice.
Zombie Dice.
Wow.
Yeah, I like this one a lot, and it's one that scales well with any number of players because you literally could play with like 12 people around the table. You're only taking a turn every once in a while, but it's just fun to watch people bust. It is really great. You just roll 3 dice at a time, and you hope to get brains, and you hope not to get shotgunned. And then it's that push your luck. If you get too many shots, you lose all the brains that are sitting out. But once you bow out, you keep those points, and you're trying to hit 13 because lucky 13, right? The game, it has such a simple little loop to it, a little cycle, but it's just fun to keep doing it. You can play this game back to back to back, and it's one of those that if someone has not played anything more than Yahtzee, then this is going to feel familiar, and it's going to work really well. But it's also simpler than Yahtzee.
Right.
People take for granted that Yahtzee really has rules to it.
Right.
And, lots of different choices. This one has pretty much one choice, but it's a blast.
I played
I
a
see what you
massive
did
amount of
there.
Zombie Dice when it first came out, but I've almost forgotten about this game. I'm like, I wonder, I need to play it like in a more recent setting, because I haven't played it for like years. I got rid of my copy like forever ago, but
Yeah.
this would be fun. It's one of those games you just pull out and play with whoever, whenever, just in any situation. So
So I used
Yeah.
to play this with kindergartners
Yeah.
at an elementary school, and they were splats instead of like shotgun shells because I couldn't have that at school.
Yeah.
But thematically, it works.
the brains, you accidentally,
Yeah.
the zombies dropped the brain accidentally. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and splat. Oh
It's
no, we lost a
splatted.
brain.
Yeah, I ruined it. I can't eat scrambled brains. Come on. All right, so that's my number 9. Zombie Dice.
Nice. My number 9 is Ticket to Ride First Journey. I think in considering older kids as well, you could probably just put Ticket to Ride in here as well.
Or
But
the mini ones, like the
or
New
the
York.
right, the New York one as well, right. But we've had so much fun with this game. This was actually one of the first games that I kind of got playing with my son and pulling it in, and played with a couple of his friends as well. I really like that. I remember very vividly one play where he started putting together the location. It was like, I think this is in our world. And I was like, yeah, it's actually in our country even. Mind blown. You're
Where's
right.
Hogwarts?
Geography is working.
Right, but it was just that really interesting, because I guess we play a lot of zombies and a lot of,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but he was just like blown away that this is in our world, and we got to put the trains out, so it kind of has a little bit of a toy factor as well, but also has some good strategic decisions that you're making, so it has kind of that depth to it as well. So Ticket to Ride First Journey, I think, was a really good implementation of the big sister Ticket to Ride, which, could definitely be aged into or used for the older kids. So I think that this is, or if you play that one and are familiar with it with your older kids, they're not going to mind Ticket to Ride First Journey, because I think it still has enough game there that it keeps them involved. So really had a lot of fun with this Ticket to Ride First Journey. There's actually 2 of them. There's the Europe one and the
US one.
the US one. So
Yep.
yeah.
And if you live in the United States, this one has the easier cities to pronounce. When your kid's like, how do you pronounce the city in Czechoslovakia? And you're like,
And you just pretend you didn't hear your kid.
yeah, like,
That's what I do. Or
I
just,
don't know.
get a drink
The
of water
mythical
at that
land of
time.
Denver.
Denvier.
There you go.
All right, my number 9 is definitely skewing a little. I think in general my games skew older than the rest of yours. And this is Sonora. So I picked Sonora because I wanted a roll and write on my list, because roll and writes are inherently easy and simple. But the thing about Sonora is that it also has a very tactile element. You're playing the crokinole style of flicking pieces on your board, but it also kind of simplifies some of the decisions in the sense of where your piece ends up. That's the only part you have to focus in on that moment. And so even though it's got a big board in front of you with lots of stuff going on, you can say, hey, okay, let's start with this region. Let's all work on our regions together. Let's do the first one. Okay, everyone look with their, their things. Let's fill them out. And so you can do a little bit of hand holding as you go, as you're teaching initially, and you're working through it. But I think that it has that appeal of, oh, I can do some cool thinky stuff if I'm someone that likes that, but I can also do some tactile stuff. So that's why I picked Sonora.
That's a good
My
pick.
number 9.
Also, I know the people in chat are already calling me out for saying Czechoslovakia, which was founded in 1918, which is when the Ticket to Ride games took place, I believe. It is now the Czech Republic. I am aware of that. But
Chris is like, let me Google this
He's
real
like,
quick
real
so I
quick,
can.
he's
I literally did Google
Hold
it.
up, chat.
Nation.
Hold up. I got Google.
I think I'm right.
You
What
know
does it
you're
have to do
right.
with Sonora?
Oh, Sonora's a great pick. Yeah. But it does skew a little bit older, yeah.
See,
but-
what he's saying is you're right for your pick, and he is right for his information
Right.
earlier. That's how it ties in.
Go 18.
You
Done.
go.
We got this.
All right, my number 9 in my top 10 Marvel games is the same one Camilla said. This is a crossover with 5 Minute Marvel. Let's do it.
good.
The rest games
Look
aren't
at
We're
Marvel.
worried that
Wait,
Chris and I
I'm
were
just-
going to cross over.
That was a
but-
joke.
man.
Kids like superheroes?
But-
What?
I love playing this game, and this game is a blast to play for the whole family. The same thing as Camilla said, you can scale the game. All of the different villains you have kind of have different numbers of cards you have to get through. So you can start with like a lower level one, or you can play it a little bit slower at first, and then really get into the game and the cooperation. I mean, like Chris said, I played it with his daughter as well, just bringing the whole family in together. And
Not the whole family.
Have a little
the whole
salt.
all the important members of the family get to play this
Were
game.
you there watching?
We specifically told him he
You
couldn't
let
play,
him watch?
and
I watched.
Oh.
we wanted
As
him
a
to suffer.
family.
Never letting you watch.
We watched as a family. Okay?
Anyway, we had fun. It was a
We rooted
blast.
on our
I
daughter.
love playing 5 Minute Marvel. It's just that chaotic, stressful, like throwing the cards there. But when you finish the game, it feels like you accomplished something
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So it's just a ton of fun. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you did this and that, and oh man, we got to work on this. It's just so crazy and zany fun, and you get to play with all the Marvel characters, throwing cards as fast as you can.
And it's a family weight game, but I was just thinking, I was like, oh, we should totally play this. I don't know if it'd be good live or whatever, but like we should do an adult game of it.
Yeah.
Adults should play this.
It's fun.
carry
So
on.
I have a blast playing it,
Carry
and Chris will never get to play it if I have anything to do with it.
Ever.
5 Minute Marvel.
My number 8 is a racing game that has such cool production value, and it has one of my absolute favorite animals, and an animal that I respect a lot. It's dodos riding dinos.
Oh, it wasn't penguins.
That's what I said.
No,
Penguins.
it would
No
be.
penguins.
This game would be even higher if it was penguins riding dinos.
Which animals do you not respect?
But it wouldn't have good alliteration, and we really want that
Right.
in our games.
I love dinosaurs. I have respect for dodos.
Because
Because
If you're
they're
gonna
extinct.
rank
I said
all the
because they're
animals,
extinct,
what's at the
because
bottom?
they know how to kill themselves off.
What's at the
They're
bottom?
incapable of
Cockroaches.
living.
Yeah.
Palmetto bugs, right, Mike? Yeah.
About this
Game though.
I respect palmetto bugs. I don't like palmetto
I don't respect them. Anyway, no respect. No respect. Dodos Riding Dinos is an awesome racing game where everyone just simultaneously selects a card and flip it over. You get to move that number of spaces and you get to do something zany, like flick a banana at each other or drop a meteorite on each other. And you're doing damage to each other's hand of cards. If you run out of cards, you spin out and you go backward spaces. This is such a kooky game, and I think that people love something about that inherent, like, ha ha ha, gotcha kind of a feeling, right? But I want that in a good setting. I don't like games that are just like, ha ha, played this card on you, sucks to be you, blah, 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 right? But this one contextualizes it in a way that I really enjoy.
And it's really quick.
It's very quick. You can play on the shorter circuit or the longer one on each board. There's different boards. The whole thing is just an awesome package. I like this one a lot.
I could really see my family enjoying this one. I would love to like take this home and try to play this with everyone. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yep. So my number 8, Dodos Riding Dinos. Sans penguins, unfortunately.
Penguins, penguins. Someone said penguins
That's the
riding.
expansion.
There was one in the
penguin.
Penguins riding pterodons.
Penguins. Yeah.
See?
Oh, pterodons.
Get that alliteration.
Pterodons. My number 8 has actually already been called out in the comments. It is Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Ooh.
Right? Okay, Mike gave me a look. I was like, was it not my? Quacks of Quedlinburg. This is a game, again, in the same vein of thinking, where it's a game that has some depth and a lot of decision, but you can scale it down so easy. When I first played this with my son and his friend, I was teaching them, we played with just 2 ingredients, and then the next time we played with 3 and 4, and we really built him up for the full game to be able to manage that many different ingredients and make that many decisions and start to see the way the ingredients work together. And again, I really like that concept that you can do that, and it really doesn't change the game much. It's just a simple modification for it, and it's a game that I don't mind playing, and it's so fun. I mean, another one that I considered for this, that didn't make the list, was Ink and Gold or Diamond. I found that kids really like that push your luck element, and Quacks takes that and puts it more in a game setting, where they feel like they're doing a lot more and making some decisions. And it's just so much fun. Quacks of Quedlinburg, my number 8.
There you go. My number 8 is Barren Park. This is a game that we've played with Chris's family, actually. And it has been a lot of fun. So it's a polyomino game. You're building up a cute bear park, but it does scale, which is interesting. That there are these tiles that I will always play with, except for with younger kids. But you're basically racing for certain things. You're like, oh, I need my rivers to connect 3 length, or I need to put something on I need to have 3 Gobi bears first on the board, or something like that. So it does have that, like, you can lessen, make it a little bit easier. But it's really simple in the sense of you lay down a tile, and what you cover up, you pull those tiles from the board that have the matching picture. Like, it's very simple in that sense, and it teaches the polyomino ideas. But there's really good decisions that you can make. And so it scales well. I enjoy it. I love Phil Walker Harding and lots of what he does. So yeah, Barren Park's a great game.
Yes, awesome.
I always thought that game was more complex than that. I haven't played it yet, though, so...
I mean, like I said, mine are scaling like more towards that teenage age
Gotcha.
and higher, but it's definitely one that, teenagers could easily pick that up. So.
Yeah, the core of the game is so simple.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's my number 8 is Barren Park.
I love it.
I think for me, I was thinking kind of like, I didn't put Agricola Family on my list, but I think like that level,
Gotcha.
Agricola Family, like that's kind of where I'm at when I was thinking family games.
That's a cool reference point for like the 10 people who have played that game, I think.
That's fair, that's fair.
No, that was...
Fun on the farm for the whole family.
Hey kids, you're gonna learn about starvation today.
Hey kids, we're gonna play this game to show you why we can't feed you this week. Oh, jeez. We bought this game
turned
instead.
into a different game than I remember.
Anyway, my number 8 is a game where you get to smash your kids, and that is King of Tokyo. This is a lot of fun as you're all battling over Tokyo, trying to gain points, being able to unlock cool different mutant powers for your different monsters as you're battling and trying to destroy things. This is a really simple game. I played this just this past weekend with my mom and dad, my girlfriend, and both my kids, and we had a blast playing it full 6 players, just going around the table, rolling the dice, chucking it up, and a lot of them, this was their first time playing the game. So it was really fun getting in there and like that little bit of pressure luck that King of Tokyo has of like going into the middle, how long do you stay there? If it gets back to your turn, you get extra points. And you're trying to push your points up. Then somebody plays a card that makes everybody go down 5 points. It's like, well, I guess we just gotta kill each other. But it's a lot of fun playing King of Tokyo, and everybody had a blast playing it, rolling the dice, and just having fun.
There's a point in every game in which you say that line. You're like, well, I guess we just all have to kill each
now
other.
we don't have enough points. I guess I'm just gonna have to. You're always like pushing, like, oh, I'm gonna get some points here. Oh, I'm gonna get some points here. But I could kill you if I roll enough, like stomping. You're dead! But yeah.
So dead.
King of Tokyo is a lot of fun, and I'm sure it might be on other people's lists. That's why they're being so quiet. My number 8.
My number 7 is sure to make one person at this table very, very, very happy.
Oh, really?
My number 7 is Butterfly.
This is such a good game. I love this game.
Why are you making Camilla happy?
Because I'm so pissed.
We
I'm just happy I can talk. Tell me more.
we just got introduced to this game because someone at the table really, really likes it.
Just a little bit.
Quite a bit. And this is an awesome game. It was just mentioned in your top 100, right? You done did good. You recommended this one, and I really like it. You move around this hedgehog, Hudson the hedgehog, on this grid of tiles. You can move him any number of spaces forward, left, or right, and you change the way that he's facing.
Hudson's missing.
Hudson is not in that picture.
Where is
He's not in
Hudson?
the picture. Well,
He
he's on
ran
the
off the
game
board.
box, and so I thought that was cuter than the meeple.
I think you're fiddling
thought
with
wrong?
him, actually. That's probably what's going
In
on
this
in this picture.
that's
Yeah.
probably where
Yeah.
it's probably in my hand. Oh, that's a fair point. Carry on.
So you just move and you grab the tile that you land on, and the next person can go any number of spaces forward, left, or right from where he landed. And it's just this great little game that feels like it's got that kind of the tiles are diminishing, and so it's lowering the number of legal moves that you can make. And you're just trying to collect tiles that do awesome, you just get a lot of points and stuff for yourself. The way that the different tiles score are all very intuitive. This one looks like a children's game.
It looks like it would be right beside My Little Scythe, right? You know, they both look like they're for like toddlers.
This one looks like it would be
But
next
This
to
looks
Elefun.
even-
Where you get to catch the butterflies. With
Yeah.
That was almost on my list.
Yeah, this
looks even younger than My Little Scythe, which I argue that My Little
Really?
Scythe looks too young for
For what it is, yeah. I
it
agree
kind
as
of
well.
is,
This
yeah.
does even more.
This one is engaging, I think, for anyone, right? And
nice.
you know, for the older teenagers, I would chase around butterflies. But as soon as you're like, if I go here, you're stuck with that bad tile. Interesting. Oh, but I could actually get more points if I do this. Blah, blah, blah. Like there's real decisions to this game. I really like it. It's fantastic, and I think people should try it because
Yeah.
they probably overlooked it because of that
Yeah.
Elefun look to it. So
guess-
some butterfly.
I love that it's on your list. That makes me incredibly happy. But I didn't consider it for this list just because it is one that I have to not play my best if I'm playing with my son. But again, my frame of reference being a 9-year-old.
Sure.
You know, and not more like a teenager or something like that. So I love that you did consider it, and I think that's really interesting. So well done.
Thank you.
All right, Chris Yi for the
Get
win
a gold star.
on that one. All right. My number 7 is Ghost Fightin' Treasure Hunters. I've talked about this game a lot. I really enjoy this game. I've played it just, you know, with another adult as well, just because we enjoyed it. And it is a roll and move game, which I know makes me very sad, but for some reason in this game it doesn't bother me because I feel like there's enough strategy as you're cooperating together. If you just keep getting that bad die roll, then you can work together and try to tag team different things. It has kind of a toy factor, and you're going around, you're picking up these little treasures, and they fit in your book bag, you know, on your little guy, so then you're actually carrying it around, and it's adorable, and that's definitely for me, not for the kids I'm playing with. But it's just, it's so much fun, and you have these ghosts that you're putting out, and so again, it has enough of a toy factor that the kids are involved, it has some of those frustrating mechanics, that roll to move, but for some reason in this, because it's that cooperative nature, and it's so difficult, this game is really, really difficult. It's kind of sad how I've maybe never won this game, but
It's because you haven't played with us.
have you played this game?
No, absolutely not. But
Oh,
we
okay.
will crush it, even if it
Yeah?
means to be like, hey, look over there really quick.
I will cooperate with you if you will help me win this game.
If we will
Deal.
cheat in this game,
No, what? You're uninvited.
I'm uninvited.
No,
that
no.
was Chris's idea.
I was
I blame it on
joking.
him.
I
didn't
was
hear him say
joking.
it. I didn't hear him, see? So my number 7 is Ghost Fightin' Treasure Hunters. And as a side note, the expansion is fantastic. I think the expansion, it's a very good game on its own, but you add the cellar in as well, and it just
Wow.
kind of gives a little...
It's like a whole new level. Sorry.
My number 7, Ghost Fightin' Treasure Hunters.
My number 7 is Sagrada. This I was going for the prettiness of this game. Like I definitely have a couple teenagers that I think would enjoy this in my group, but also like it's very pretty. And so I think that even if it was a little bit advanced for some of them, I think that the prettiness of it would win them over. The cute dice. It teaches that concept of drafting as well as the puzzle. And I think the puzzle is what makes this fun. Are you shaking your head no?
No, I'm looking for a pen or a
Oh,
fiddler.
this makes more
I forgot
sense.
a fidgeter.
But yeah, I love the colors and the puzzle and stuff, and it's very simple of like just you pick a die and we come back the other way, you pick another die, fit them on your board, make it work, and you can even leave out the extra stuff in the middle if you feel like that's too much early on going on. But yeah, I really like just the colors and the brightness of it as a way to draw in kind of to the hobby.
It's because a lot of us have mentioned kind of that idea of like being able to scale down a game.
Yeah.
You just get rid of some of the tools and the things that are more like strategic about the game, and
Yeah, and you're just like put dice in places where they fit.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's very cool. So that's my number 7 is Sagrada.
such a good look to it. I like the game a lot.
My number 7 is a game that has like drawing and trying to like spatial recognition, and this is Doodle Quest. This is a game where you are drawing on the board. You basically draw on this transparency as you play the game, and you're trying to do different quests as you're playing it. So sometimes it's like drawing a line from one side of the board to the other, and you're trying to like not hit fish and like make it over the little starfish. Or sometimes you're trying to like trace a little fish that doesn't get eaten by sharks. And sometimes you're trying to draw little teeth on everything. Yeah, my daughter played the game.
Violet.
I've played this game with just adults. I played this game with kids. I played this game with a mixture of it. It's just so much fun to play this game and go through all the different quests in the game and see how you get points. And it's always fun to. It's so simple to just kind of like explain. This is what we have to do on this quest. This is what we have to do on this quest. And then just that spatial recognition of drawing it out and then placing it over to see how well everybody does. It's always really exciting to see like, oh my goodness, they got points this time. You got points this time. It's just a lot of fun. I've had a blast playing this with my family. So Doodle Quest, my number 7.
We bought this when our daughter was way too young for it.
Yeah.
We were like, she'll grow into it, and we haven't played it with her.
I am really upset that I didn't think of this one. This is an awesome choice.
Yeah, it's a
Really
lot
cool.
of fun, and it works really great with basically people of all ages, especially once they get to like enough to be able to understand the rules, which are super simple. So,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
so number 7, Doodle Quest.
My number 6 is a game that it's in what I call the reachy grabby genre, where like spoons, where you want to grab stuff from the middle of the table.
Oh, that game hurts.
Oh yeah, so this is the least hurdy I
Okay.
think of them all. This one is called Fun Farm. This is kind of a stand-in because I don't know how available this one is in all
Not
markets and
Spiky
stuff.
Dastards.
I know. I was like, I'm really disappointed it's not Spiky Dastards.
Or it's stress ball squishy, instead of hard and stabby.
My first Spiky Dastard.
My first
My
Spiky
first
Dastard.
My
Bastards.
softer
Yeah.
version.
But there's a lot of games that are in the reachy grabby genre, right? You slap something on the table or grab something first. I particularly love the way this one does it, where there's cards in the middle there that show in the top left the black die and on the bottom right the white die. And you roll a color combo. You roll the 2 dice. And if the black one is showing pink, then you have to look for the cards that show the black die showing pink or the white die showing red. And if either of those are true, you have to grab that farm animal. It is a weird trip
It's a mind trip for sure.
because the pig is pink, but his
Yeah.
card shows red on the black die and yellow on the white die. And so you're sitting there just analyzing like 3 different colors of things all at once and going, pig! I love it!
Chris is a machine at this game. He always wins.
I don't think that's
You
true,
destroy at it.
but I have a lot of fun when I play this.
I like playing this game with my family because I can crush it.
Yeah, brother! I
Throw a foam pig at somebody's head. No.
I like this genre of games. I like Egyptian rat screw and like all those types of like grabbing stuff. This is, I think, one of the ones that just looks cutest, and so I think that's why this is the one that stands out from my
it's like
list.
tactile
awesome.
spot it.
Number 6, Fun Farm.
Very nice. All right, my number 6 is a crossover with Roy, King of Tokyo. This game is so much fun. Smash! You just get to smash. You roll the dice, and what I like about this is, with that Yahtzee kind of style, is you can be pushing for something, but at the end of your turn, there's still something you can do. You never it's push your luck, but it's not push your luck, and then you explode, and then there's nothing you can do. You can always do at least 1 punch to somebody, or get 1 point, or heal 1 heart. I mean, there's never just that complete wasted turn. And it's just so much fun. Like you said, push your luck, and am I going to stay in Tokyo? Am I going to get out? You're rolling. You're engaged on everybody's turn. So, what are they going to do? It's not just like, all right, you take your turn, roll your dice, but you're engaged the entire game, and that's really important. I found with when I'm playing with families is. Everybody is together playing at the same time and engaged on each other's turn. I think King of Tokyo does this really well and keeps it exciting on other people's turns as well. I think that's why it hits the table all the time, and it looks really awesome.
So it's
And
high.
you smash.
It's high on the smash to math ratio.
Yes.
There's a little bit of numbers, but not too much
Little
that
bit.
it would scare even you off, right?
Smash!
You're going to get smashed.
Smash and 6.
I think that should be a thing that you consider a smash to math ratio, though.
Smash to math. That's a lot. Smash to mash.
Smash, smash, smash.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll
Smash
practice
ratio.
it,
We'll
see if I
just
can
say
get it
that.
down first.
Just say
Yeah.
smash ratio. I think we're
Smash
good.
ratio.
All right, my
More
number
smash.
6 is not smashing at all. It is about delivering. So I was thinking Ticket to Ride, and I thought Ticket to Ride was going to be on everybody's list. So I picked a different train game, and I picked Switch and Signal. It's the one that Chris and I recently reviewed, and it is a very cool co-op pick up and deliver game. It's very fascinating. You're moving the little switches and the little signals, and you're moving the trains around, and you're basically trying to get them into locations without smashing them into each other or sending them off in the wrong direction entirely. And so it's very cool the way that it works, and because it's cooperative and because it's very simple in the fact that you only have 3 types of cards and you're working together, I think that this is such a cool game that I'm excited as Zatanna gets older to play this as a family.
Interesting. I wouldn't have thought of this one because I think of it as too logistical, but we're also thinking of slightly different age groups. I think is part of it. Yeah,
Definitely.
But you're right. The co-op nature makes it easier to work with.
For a train game, it looks heavier than it is. It looks way heavier than it is because it's not as pretty. It's not Sagrada in that sense, but I think that it's very cool. So that's my number 6 is Switch and Signal.
Good.
My number 6 is another cooperative game, but this game uses programming and like a book that you play on the map, and this is Quirky Circuits. This is a game where you're working together to try to program out your turns. You each have a hand of cards, but everybody has to play cards in the row. You play them all face down. On the back of them, you can see if they're moving forward or like turning, or basically based on the scenario, you can kind of see a little bit of information about what they did. But you're not really allowed to fully communicate, or you're not allowed to communicate about what you're doing. You can say like beeps and boops or whatever, like you're a robot. But you're putting all the things out. That's not really going to help. Beep, beep, beep. Anyway, but yeah, we play with Jason, and all he did was make robot noises the whole time we played.
Beep, beep.
But this game is a lot of fun. My kids have had a blast playing it, and I enjoy playing it with them. You could be a Roomba that's running around trying to catch stuff. You can be a dog that's trying to get like different stuff. They even have a more like an even younger or a different version of it that has like a penguin that just kind of slides around everywhere as well. But yeah, and a sushi making robot, which is kind of crazy as well. So it's all these different programming stuff, and it can kind of scale up too, because as you get further in, it kind of becomes more difficult and things like that. So after you master the early ones, you can play the later ones. Yeah, the penguin ones over there. You can.
I feel like your Catch-A-Palooza list is getting bigger from
The
this.
more we talk about
just as much as the top 100.
Very possibly. There's
But
two
yeah.
things that I want in real life, and that's a penguin and a sushi robot.
Well,
And
we
a dinosaur.
figured out that you
Oh,
can't own a real penguin, but can you own a robot penguin? I don't think there's laws against
I
that.
can and I will.
I've seen these
you go.
advertisements where you can have like your own little conveyor belt sushi vending machine that you could own and
How
put
fresh
in
is that,
places.
Yeah.
You order it and like put it together. I don't know.
I've heard good things about,
pizza ones.
things about Quirky Circuits, though, Roy.
I've had a lot of fun with it. And if you enjoy
really wanna try
programming
it.
style games and want to play one that's cooperative, then my number 6, Quirky Circuits. It's a lot of fun.
Sounds quirky.
My number 5 is going to be interrupted by someone calling me named Scam Likely.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Oh
You
yeah,
should
she's
probably
my
take it.
cousin's friend's daughter's
Sam
ex-boyfriend.
Likely.
Scam Likely always sounds to me like a character's name from Guys and Dolls. Yeah, look, come over here. Scam Likely's got something to tell. My number 5 is a great family weight cooperative game. In my mind, is kind of the classic one that is perfect for the genre, and that's Forbidden Island. Forbidden Island has a theme of rescuing treasures off an island that's sinking into the ocean. And that's represented by flipping the tiles over, they become flooded. But if they become flooded again, they're gone. They're gone forever. And so it has a little bit of this kind of adventure-y type of a feel to it, even though it's a simplified pandemic. And Matt Leacock, same designer, really made it as kind of a simplified pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's wildly approachable. There's relatively few actions that you can do on a turn, and yet those choices are meaningful and it's fun. If you want something a little bit meatier, there's also the follow-up Forbidden Desert, and if you want something really meaty, Forbidden Stars, right? It was Roy's recommendation.
It's really
so.
meaty. It's the craziest one in the series. It's really diversions. You know?
But I love Forbidden Island. For the amount that you pay for it, you get cool, like the 4 treasures you rescue are the really neat little miniatures. An unnecessary touch, but it helps everyone feel like, yes, I have the chalice.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
This was literally my number 10, and then I was like, oh, I didn't put Marvel United on the list, and it pushed it off.
So
But this is an amazing game for playing with families, especially cooperative when it's really simple. Like if you want to introduce cooperative games to people, this is a great one to go with.
Yeah, for sure. It's on my short list.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
so
pick.
there you go.
Good
Number 5,
pick.
Forbidden Island.
My number 5 is a game that is similar to one of my top games, Ecos, which is also compared a lot to Rise of Augustus. My number 5 is Via Magica. Via Magica is an adorable game. It is so pretty. The artwork in it, I find, is very, very striking. But again, reminiscent of the other 2 games, it has that bingo feature where you're pulling these chits out of a bag, and if you have that icon on your card, then you can put a gem and cover it up. When you complete that spell, you open up that portal, and then you get to score that card. And so, if you understand bingo, you can get this game pretty much. But it also does have that, you have a open draft that you're doing. Once you complete a card, you get to draft another card into it, trying to make different sets. So a little bit more of a game to it. Really have enjoyed this. And it is competitive, but because it is that open information, again, you can scale it down and help people, okay, this is the icon. Hey, don't forget you have one right there. Or you can play with, scaling it to the older kids of the game. You can get really competitive and the cards that you draft and trying to make the sets, because then you can get bonus scoring as well, and so it's that scalability, I guess, is kind of built into the game. You don't have to really alter any rules for it or anything like that. And again, it's just really pretty and really striking, with the different like magical animals in it and that kind of stuff, and it has little gems in it. So I think there's those little touches again that keep it fun and kind of give it that toy factor, but there's enough game there that it's interesting. So I had a lot of fun with Via Magica.
It looks really cool. Like, I have literally never seen or heard of this game, which
Really?
is crazy because I'm like, wow.
I've heard of it only in passing, but this really intrigues
I
me.
hear and see of a lot of games. I haven't seen this one.
In no small part of what intrigues me is the designer's name on the Paolo Mori. So
Oh,
What?
yeah, there's a
Where's
Paolo
this game
Mori.
hiding?
I don't know, man.
look
what?
at that! I got all the secrets.
No. Anyway, it looks cool. Looks cool.
Yeah. So Via Magica, my number 5.
Nice, good choice. My number 5 is Reef. This is another one of those games that looks little like for a younger crowd than it's actually for. It's very cute with the little pieces, the little pieces of coral and stuff that you're building up on your board. But rules-wise, it's pretty simple. It's a fun puzzle. You play a card, you put down the pieces on the top that you have on the card, and then you score if anything on your board matches what's on the bottom. Like, it's very simple in that regard. I think you can hold like 3 cards in your hand at once, and that's about it. So it's a fun puzzle, but the pieces are super cute and it's easy to teach. And it's a game that I really love, and I feel like this is a very like solid, like entry-level, family weight, welcoming game. Like, I just love so much about it.
That's a good
awesome.
choice. Yeah, I should play this one more often.
I
really
wanna
You
should.
play more
always
Reef.
trounce me at it.
I always beat Chris, so he stopped playing with me.
Let's play Reef, Wendy. I want to play it more. I like Reef.
That's good stuff.
That is
So that's
not.
my number 5 is Reef.
To clarify, that is not why we don't play.
No,
that
that's not
often.
why we don't play.
My number 5 is an extremely small game, but it is a extremely well-known game with 18 cards in it, and that is Love Letter. I
Nice.
put the Adventure Time Love Letter version on there because this is the
I've
one
seen
that
that
I play
one.
with my family. I've been playing this since they were super small, but I played Love Letter with like almost everybody I know. I played a ton of Love Letter over the years. I played it with coworkers. I played with family members. I played with my grandma. I played with my parents. I played with my kids. I played with tons and tons of people. I love playing Love Letter just because it's extremely simple decisions. You draw a card, you choose one of those to play. Everybody knows what Love Letter is. I like the Adventure Time one because it's really good with families and kids and things like that. But I think this one's really hard to get now. But it's the one that I play, so I have that one on the list. Any Love Letter works really well.
Do you get to floop the pig?
There are no pigs and no flooping, which seems like a missed opportunity. So yeah, this isn't Card Wars. This is Adventure Time.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, Love Letter, great and easy family game to get to the table.
Super awesome.
Would you
choice.
say you love it?
I would say that I letter it. Go to the next number.
All right, my number 4 has the word kids in the title, and even though it says kids in the title, I think that, I don't know
That
why
you
you're
should
that
change
excited.
it to
Is it
say
Z?
family.
No.
Oh,
That's also a really good pick.
it might be a really good pick.
Man! Okay, so
it
my
on
number
Camilla
4 has
Cleghorn?
kids in the title, but I think that it will have good general family appeal. It is Unlock Kids. This is one of the newest games on my list. This game, this is a 10 out of 10 for me.
I almost
Oh.
put this on my list. I was on the fence, but because it said kids, I took it off. Like, it was...
If it was Unlocked Family, would you
yeah,
have put it on?
you totally would have, yes. Would have been on my list.
So there's 3 different settings, and each setting has 2 little mini adventures. So they're like 20-minute kind of unlock type things. But the way that you interact with the cards in this game, they took away the red and blue card combo up to a number.
Right.
They took away the app, which I was a little bit concerned about.
Patterns now.
They made a little pattern thing, and you have little cardboard tokens that you can use to interact with different parts of the cards. I find that part to be a little bit more tactile and interesting. But even though it is definitely geared towards being suitable to play with really young kids, I was having a ton of fun going through the journeys, going through the, like, oh, what about this? There's little things that you will reveal that come together in a way that you think, I hope that it's, I think that it might be this thing, and then it turns out to be that thing, and it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
I really like this. I think that if you have younger kids in particular, this is a no-brainer, but I think that this is one that the whole family will have a lot of fun with, even playing something that's a little bit, this one is like I said, my cheat, that it's a little bit more focused towards the young group, but because of its broad appeal, I think it's so great.
I actually just played this just this weekend. I've only played like one scenario. I played the tutorial and then one scenario. My kids had a blast with it.
They did.
I need to play it more before I put it on the list, but it was a lot of fun. So.
Okay, because multiple people have now recommended it, but I'm like, no, my son, just doesn't like puzzles, doesn't want, you know what I mean?
It seems pretty straightforward
really,
overall,
yeah,
and it doesn't seem like it's too obtuse out there.
Really
like it's
interesting.
It's just matching patterns and stuff. There's not even a lot of reading that you have to do in the game at all. So
he
it's
can
very
read.
traceable. Well, I'm saying, like, you don't have to like read some weird passage and be like, what do they mean by that? A lot of escape rooms do that sort of
It's
thing.
very straightforward.
It's not like too puzzly that
It's a lot of like finding whatever the pattern combination you made on this grid of patterns and numbers.
got it. Okay,
Like, is this
interesting.
an option?
All right,
What number
maybe
is
we'll
it?
try it.
It's so fun. Yeah. I mean, and it might not be for everyone, but I think that it has really good broad appeal. So
Okay.
it's more likely that he would enjoy this over a different puzzly game.
Got it. Okay, interesting. Huh, you might have sold me.
Sweet.
Well, take into consideration.
My check's in the mail.
My number 4, I expect 0 crossovers with it. Arguably, it is more of a activity, I guess. But it is Crusoe Crew. This is, has anyone played this game? Do you guys know anything about this?
I've heard good things
So
about
it is a lot of fun. And so in this game, there are 4 different books, and each of you pick a 4 different characters. Each of you pick a character, and that has a book that goes with it. And so as you go through the book, it's a comic that you're reading together, and kind of in a choose-your-own-adventure style, you go until it has you make a decision. But each book is a little bit different because you have your own personality. So one of them, for example, is really athletic, and he's really agile. So you'll be looking at this one part of the comic, and maybe there's a cabinet in the corner, and there's a number on top of it that nobody else has in their book. But because
but
he's
he
there,
can see
he's
it.
agile, so it's like, oh, wait, I can go up here and search on top of this. Let me jump up here. And so he'll go through and maybe get a bit more information that you have only because that character is playing. Another one can talk to animals. So you're hiking down a path and you pass a squirrel. And okay, we're just hiking down the path, and whoever's playing that person's like, oh, wait, hold on, I can talk to the squirrel. Should I ask them this or that? And so you're flipping through your book together and finding little hidden numbers, and so you really feel that you have something a little special that you're bringing to the group in the decision. But ultimately you are just sent on this quest from your dad in order to collect some rubies, and so you're going through this adventure trying to collect as many rubies and the different clues you can, and it's very, it has that puzzly feel where you feel like you're making a puzzle, but you're really not, because there's not like wrong things to do. You're not going to die or whatever,
Gotcha.
And I found that this worked really, really well. It worked really well in a long car ride,
wow.
until my son got car sick. So know that before you take this. Right. But I highly recommend the game itself, because then we played it for like a couple hours later in the hotel room and just had so much fun with it. It's just a little pack of 4 books and a map. Copy that map and you can play it multiple times and switch the characters in and out, and you can play 2 characters or 4 characters, and it's just maybe you make a different decision you did last time because it has this whole map and you're only going to go to a couple locations. So we have had a lot of fun with this. I think it's extremely portable, a little more like I said on the activity side, but kind of a little bit of RPG in there. Just had so much fun with this and a lot of interactive moments. So Crusoe Crew.
That's
Nice.
really cool sounding.
That's awesome. My number 4 is 7 Wonder Architects.
Ooh.
Did I say that right? Yes. Wow, my brain went like Architects of the West Kingdom all of a sudden. I was like, what did I write down? So no.
Paladins is more of the family way game.
Yes. No, 7 Wonder Architects, I feel like this is like my first tableau builder, but not. It's definitely for an older age. like Super Baby, but I really enjoy it because it's very simple. You've got your little tableau in front of you. You're flipping over, trying to make your wonder, trying to complete sets of things, of same things, different things, whatever, earning victory points. But you're just grabbing a card from one of the stacks in front of you every round. There's a little bit of interaction because you're sharing some stacks of cards, and you're just kind of working together. There's a little bit, or not working together, working on your board. But then there's also the little battles that you have in Center of Seven Wonders. So I feel like there's a lot of really good stuff that it takes from Seven Wonders and from drafting games and that kind of stuff and tableau builders, but it just makes it very simple and streamlined, and it's also cool and big and visual. So that's why Seven Wonders Architects is my number 4.
Very nice.
I like it. It's a good one.
And just look at that box too. It's gorgeous.
Solid.
My number 4 is another cooperative game. I really like cooperative games with the family.
With
and this
families
is
do
a
it well.
dexterity cooperative game called Slide Quest.
Ah.
So this is a game where you're all playing different sides of the board and you're working together with these little flippers to try to slide a knight through these different puzzles. I played this with the family. It's a lot of fun to play. Everybody has a different side and you're like, oh no, am I like press this side? Or oh no, we gotta do this side. And it's very interesting, like trying to work together with the kids when they are doing one of the directions that we have to do. It's like, okay, now you can press your thing.
Yeah.
Just all working together to make that stuff happen. And, sometimes you mess up and you fall in the hole. It's like, okay, let's restart, let's do it again. But yeah, I've actually played this with a guy from my game group as well. We played through every single thing in this scenario. So it's just a lot of fun playing Slide Quest. There's all sorts of different scenarios where you have to like defeat bad guys and push them in holes and like knock over dynamite on top of them, like all sorts of different crazy things that goes on in the game.
I really want to try this one.
Catch up Palooza.
It's really fun, and it's just one where you just like have to like make the little knight slide around the board. It's just one of like those maze quests, but you're just all doing different sides.
Like
And
the old labyrinth things,
Yeah.
but like those were
it's labyrinth, but you can only hold
impossible.
one knob, So
Yeah.
you have to work together to push each direction. So
So
sort of like Magic Maze, but dexterity, that sort of thing. But yeah,
Interesting.
Slide Quest, my number 4.
My number 3 is a crossover with Roy, and I anticipate it might be a crossover with somebody else. It is Marvel United.
Awesome.
It's a good pick.
I like this one so much in this context. I like the game
Yes,
a lot.
yeah.
It wasn't on my top 100. It's not a game that I always want to pull out for me, but in this context as a family game,
Right.
this is so much fun when I play it. Or like when I'm just teaching it to someone new or someone who loves Marvel, superheroes and stuff. I think that this is an awesome game that benefits from its theme, right? It could be anything, sure, but the superhero theme feels great. And I love that little bit of taking down the bad guy and working together. Last time we played this, I was Howard the Duck. You know what I mean? Like, you want to reach into the depths of weird Marvel characters. There's a lot of them in here. The X-Men one will be cool one day when
When it eventually
When
gets
that
here.
ship
when that gets here. Yeah.
decides to dock.
Giant sentinels.
But yeah, whatever version you have, I think it's a really fun family game. If you can even just play the basic box, the basic this one or the basic X-Men box, and it's fun. If your family likes the X-Men cartoon show or the movies, or if they like the Avengers movies or whatever it is, this one's awesome. I love it.
And I think this does similar to we were talking about the 5-minute Marvel, and you have your individual character. They all pretty much they all play the same, right? But you do feel like you have that little bit of edge where they try to get the personality in of the individual character. I think this one does that really well, where it's just enough that you feel more asymmetrical than you are. You
Yeah.
kind of lean more towards different strategies, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I really enjoy it.
Like Howard the Duck saved the day last time we played, right?
Quack.
You don't remember?
Oh yes! Oh yeah! Oh, that was pretty epic. Yes.
Loki had
Okay.
like
I was
like 14 health just sitting on him. We're like,
Yes!
And I played
Oh my
the card
gosh.
that's like knock him down to 1 health.
Right.
Brrrr.
Yeah, because we're like going around the table and it's like the health is, we're like, oh, add another one, add another. It was like 14 health, and then he brought it down to 1, and then the next person, my friend who went, ended up doing like 8 damage anyway. We're like, but he only
That's
had.
amazing.
You know what? It's all right. We decapitate. No, well, he was dead. That's all we
There
need
we
to know.
go.
It's a family game.
There you
Family.
go. Number 3, Marvel United.
Family that decapitates together?
Yes,
Stays
stays
together.
together. Absolutely. All right, my number 3 is my favorite of all the Betrayal at House on the Hill game. This is Betrayal at Mystery Mansions. I think it's Scooby-Doo Betrayal at Mystery Mansion. This is my favorite of all of them. I think it's the one where they fixed the game the best. For lack of a better word. I've yet to have a scenario that doesn't work, and that's so exciting. But it's a theme that no matter how old your family is, like, they have some sort of nostalgia for this. You know, they're either into the theme because they're young, or they watched the theme at some point, or they were raised during that theme. You know, I mean, Scooby-Doo was huge when I was a kid, you know, and so I think, like, everybody kind of has a tie to this theme, and it's very well done in this, that you are at this mystery mansion that you get sucked into. You don't really know what's going to trigger that. Not a haunt in this. What is it? The trigger the bad guy.
Right.
And there's enough tweaks on the rules. Again, like I was talking about how, you know, we altered the rules depending on who we're playing with. This already took care of that. Like, it's not, somebody doesn't trigger that haunt. It's whoever you choose becomes then the traitor, and they don't become the traitor.
Right.
It's like their character disappears. They get, like, locked in a closet or something. Great. So they don't become
Spin
it.
the fireplace.
You pull
Right,
the mask
So they don't have to
Exactly.
read a rule book by themselves.
Right. They don't have to read a rule book
not
by themselves.
Fred,
It's all in one, and who
Old
reads
Man
it.
Jenkins.
The only other character in the entire episode.
And it's not like all of a sudden, you know, Shaggy becomes bad. Like you said, he just gets hidden, and then somebody actually plays as the bad guy. And I really think that they did a great implementation of this, where everyone is still together. It doesn't, like, segregate the group as much, but there still is that one versus many aspect, and it just appeals to a lot of people, a wide array of people. And I really have had a lot of fun. He's asked multiple times. Again, here 3, 2, and 1 you'll see are the games that my son has asked to play the most.
There you go.
You know
That's
what I
really
mean?
cool.
It's the ones that he just wants to the table over and over again, and this is one.
This is another one that I've played, like, with my dad and with my kids before.
Yeah.
So this is a game that works good across, like, generations. and
Across
families,
generations,
so, yeah.
because of the theme, because of the mechanisms, like, it just fits.
That sounds
Yeah,
really
really
cool.
It's really
good.
awesome.
Scooby-Doo is not necessarily, like, the greatest cartoon show, but it had such an awesome theme song that it regularly is, like, stuck in my head. I'll just be brushing my teeth one day and be like, I don't know why. This is
Got
fun.
some work
I'd
to
like
do
to
now.
try this.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't played this?
I have, and this sounds
Oh my
really
goodness,
fun.
Chris. You need more family games in your life.
Apparently.
Okay.
All right, my number 3 is a crossover with Roy, and I was so excited that it wasn't going to be a crossover with Chris, and then it was. It is Marvel United. So that happened. Yeah, Marvel United. Chris said a lot of similar thoughts that I have. I think the IP in general is going to bring in a bunch of people, especially because Marvel movies are so big right now. It does introduce you to a lot of those side characters that maybe people don't know very well. I know our daughter gets really excited about Squirrel Girl and all that, you know, just that kind of stuff. Like, there's so much stuff in there. It's great. But also, I've played this with my 7-year-old and, 10-year-old niece and nephew, and they've had fun.
I was like, what secret
He's like,
7-year-old do we
"Hold
have?
She's not there yet. She's only 6. Yeah, played it with them, and they were able to get the rules and move around and play. Like, we just had a lot of fun, and so I think that it's a wide range. I don't think it made it on my top 100 either.
Right.
But for this style of game, like, this just fits all age groups.
There you go.
So that's my number 3, Marvel United.
Love it. Love it. My number 3 is another dexterity game. This is one where you're stacking things, and this is Rhino Hero, or Rhino Hero Super Battle. I kind of put
I
this
thought
together.
about putting this one on my
played
list, too.
Rhino Hero Super Battle. I even played the gigantic Rhino Hero
Look
with
at
my
that.
family. I've had so much fun playing all the versions of this game, but basically they're slightly different depending on the one that you're playing. Rhino Hero has a little bit more of an Uno mechanic of trying to get the floors out. Super Battle, you're trying to climb to the very top, and the giant one is just regular Rhino Hero, just huge. But I have a blast playing all these games with the family, and it's just so much fun working. You're not working together because it's competitive, but like seeing how high the tower can get without knocking it over. You're all holding your breath as you're stacking things up. And it's just so accessible and so easy to play. So I really enjoy Rhino Hero, and it's a ton of fun to play.
There's that sense of cheering for each other.
Right, you're like,
Because you want to make it higher and taller and not
Yeah.
have a dive.
And everybody holding their breath as they're trying to see, like, can you sneak it in there? Can you get it in there? And then in the battle one, just rolling off against each other, but being like, don't roll it too close. But it's a lot of fun. I
This
love
is why
Rhino
you're so
Hero.
good at Manara.
Maybe.
right here, yeah.
I thought about putting a picture where me and my dad
Sorry, Siri.
basically played. Don't say it again. Me and my dad and my brother played this, and we stacked it we used every single card in the
Really?
game and stacked
Oh,
it all
that's
the way
fun.
up. But yeah, it's a ton of
That's
fun,
impressive.
and I've played it a ton with my family, so that's why it's on the list. Rhino Hero.
As it should be.
All right, my number 42. What? That was really weird. I saw someone say 40 in the chat.
Because of the, yeah.
That was really strange. All right, we're going to be here all night, folks. 42.
There you go.
Whew. All right, my number 2 is not a dexterity game, but it kind of is. I don't know how to describe it. It's Drop It.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's
a
not
dexterity game.
It is, but it's not like a keep your hand steady or don't knock something over. You just plunge stuff in here, and there's a little bit of you can kind of finagle it and be a little bit precious with how you do it. But basically, you want to make things not touch the same color or shape, so that red square on the top there is doing both. It scores 0 points. But if you drop a shape onto something that is not touching the same shape or color, then you earn points for how tall up into the relative zone it is. I think that this is. It has that fun element of like Plinko. Anyone who watched The Price is Right as a kid always wants to play Plinko. It is like it has some sort of familiarity with Tetris or what? I'm blanking on something. But anyway, so it
makes me think of those little games you'd play in like elementary school where you have to match up like the yellow octagon with the
pattern blocks
like
type things.
Yeah, those little things.
Yeah. I think that everyone who looks at this figures it out very quickly, and whether it's a little kid or whether it's a grumpy teenager, will look at this and be like, "I'm not interested in it." Yes, you know what I mean? Like, or just any age, it's just fun. It's just so fun. I love Drop It. It is one of my, I don't know.
I'm kind of upset because this should have been on my list. Like, I finished my list and I put all the pictures in and everything, and then I remember Drop It, and I'm like. So it didn't make the list, but this should totally be on my list. I love Drop It. I've played it with my family a ton of times. This is a great pick, Chris. Great pick.
Thank you.
My number 11. After I pushed off, this goes above Forbidden Island.
We're getting into decimals now. By
Eventually
10.25.
we're gonna have a top 20.
It's like the Ticket to Ride map packs. This one's 6.5.
Min-max all the other games.
Yeah.
There you go.
My number 2 is a kids game with a Z. Zombie Kids.
Evolution
Is so good. This game starts so simply, and it's a legacy game, so you're opening envelopes as you're going, you're building out different characters, and you're changing the rules. And what I love about this game is it maintains that legacy feel where you're getting more rules, you're getting more power-ups, you're getting more characters without ever becoming bogged down and rule heavy. And I think that's such a careful balance to maintain in these family weight games, that it keeps it exciting in this and malleable and this open space that they can change the rules and add characters and things like that, but not become so complex at the end that the kids don't want to play it, or the family doesn't want to play it, or what rule are we at again, that you have that almost like memory that, hold on, let me check the rule book. I never had to consult the rule book in this. After you learn the first one, the rules are so well integrated and upgraded and not heavy that you don't have that what can kind of drag down legacy games of some time of having to relearn, the new rules and what's applicable now and what did we not. So I love this, and it was just one of those that was so exciting. It has a good balance too of how often you get the envelopes, because it's not every time you play. It's like every third or fourth game, something like that. So it's enough where you're getting that repetition, and you get like 50 plays out of this game. So you also get well worth your money for a legacy game as well, for a kid, and they want to, just play 2 or 3 games in a row. It has that space to play 2 or 3 games in a row. We're going to go until we get to open the next envelope, and regardless if you won or lost, it still counts towards that progression. And so there's so many smart decisions in this to implement a family weight legacy game that I think was just done so well. My son has my love of all things death and gore, and was just so excited about a zombie. I want to say, second to Harry Potter, zombies are probably his top theme. That was his jam, and he just loves it in here, and he loves that the characters like ride skateboards and have a water gun, and he just thinks it's so cool. He definitely role plays this game.
That's awesome.
So yeah, my number 2 is Zombie Kids Evolution.
That's cool. Awesome. It's a fun game for sure.
And it has that like achievement type thing where you can add more stickers to increase how quickly you open up an envelope.
Right.
And I don't usually like achievement type things in games, but this one's like a simple enough game that like,
it gives you something to work towards.
What if we end with all 4 blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
I feel like that also
cool.
helps mix up the game, because it is very much the same game every time, and so after you've played it 25 times, it gets a little samey, but because you're trying to hit those goals, you're like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna like let the zombies. Don't let the zombies go a little bit because we want to get an eject. So
Right.
we want to do something interesting.
But then
And
letting
so-
them go too far so you can get that thing and then you actually lose and you're like, oh my god, that's a
Yeah.
learning experience, kid.
There
Don't
you go.
push your luck.
For sure. All right, my number 2 is Micro Macro. This is such a good, fun
yes.
family game. Pull out the giant map on the board, solve the crime, the murder, the mayhem, all of that jazz. It's absolutely great. It's tons of fun. We played it with our daughter. I've played it with adults. I've played it, all aboard. In fact, I might bring this sometime and play this with the teenagers that I work with because I think that they would love it. There's so much cool, just like but like searching out and finding and figuring out like who did it and with what and where. It's like Clue, but where's Waldo?
Right.
It's awesome. Tons of fun.
I would say with the one caveat, like you have to understand some of the scenarios
Yes.
probably need not complete age appropriate.
I
it does
appreciate
go
that
into
they're
some
marked.
topics.
I appreciate that
Yeah.
they're marked and we've played most of them.
in the second one, not in the first one, I don't think.
In the second printing of the first
Of the
one,
first one,
okay.
which is
I
what
must
we
have
bought.
The first printing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they
All right,
are
perfect.
marked.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
definitely.
that is good that they went that because there was a couple surprise moments. It's like, oh, let's have a discussion real quick.
I actually
If I
played
know
this for
anything about game night, it's about we need to have adult discussions with 9-year-olds.
I played this for the first time with my kids over the weekend as well, and they really enjoyed it. So that's a really good pick. It's a
That's
lot of
awesome.
fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My son loves this game.
It's really good.
Loves it.
I considered it. I didn't put it on because I had just talked about it in my top 100, and so I was able to have no repeats there. It was just something I
Yes.
did just because I wanted to.
I was just because, like I said, it's hard to recommend it openly, because of that.
Right.
But it's like
Yeah.
someone I know, and I absolutely love this game, and I completely agree with your pick.
Yeah.
Just
There's a lot of murder
Caveats.
in Micro City, that's for
There's
sure.
a lot of
murder
murder.
and like
Crime City.
It is Crime City.
It's called
for
Crime
sure.
City for a reason.
What's my number 2? Micro Macro.
My number 2 is a dungeon crawl game, but for like the family, and this is Cora Quest. This is a game where you're going through different scenarios, and I actually really love like the story and the theme, and there's like audio you can listen to. I played this with like my mom and my kids, and it's just a lot of fun just playing with everybody, and I just enjoy how you can have your character and you have like a little bit of stuff that's like cooldown stuff that you have to work through and get different powers, and you're fighting off tons of different bad guys. It's really just a lot of dice chucking and fighting off different things. But I've had a blast playing through some of the different stuff, and my kids have had a ton of fun using the character creator that there is online for it as well, being like, oh, let's make this character, oh, let's make that character, and using that sort of stuff. I've just had a lot of fun with Cora Quest, and I really enjoy the stories in this, so it's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's a ton of fun, and I like that idea of if we wanted to, we could make like my little dice person, like a character
Yeah.
in the game or something like that.
yeah. That'd be cool.
I've thought about it on and off, and I think I might actually go do that now.
It just takes a dungeon
now.
crawl style game and makes it extremely accessible for like a young family, So that's why I enjoy it so much, and that's why it's my number 2. Cora Quest.
That's awesome.
My number 1 is going to end with a crossover with Wendy. I think we only had 2 crossovers this whole list then.
Impressive. 20% crossover.
Well, I mean, you went high, he went low age scale though. That makes
it's,
sense.
it's true.
So-
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything on his top 100, which
Right. Also,
I
took
definitely
that a lot, yeah.
did not take that route.
Well, you did some stuff. Yeah, so my number 1 is I got to end with kind of more of a Euro game type thing. This is Seven Wonders Architects. And I think that this one has such a good look to it. When you open the box, it comes with these little, I don't know if they're game trays or what brand they are, but they're these little plastic insert things for each person, so it's easy to set up. You just say, hey, here's you, here's you, here's you. Shuffle up the cards, and we're good to go. Build your wonder. I find this to be incredibly intuitive to play, and people have fun with it. It's fun to kind of see what someone else does on their turn, and you're like, I wish I had that. I don't know. It gives you a good amount of like the good kind of turn angst, where there's a card sitting here between Roy and me. I hope he doesn't take it when it's his turn. He didn't. Yes. I don't know. It's just very engaging, and it's anyone can play it. I feel like pretty much anyone could play this. Maybe win, maybe not win, but just have a fun time either way. This is one of the best family games I think that's come out recently. I think it helps that it's gorgeous too, and it's so fun watching your wonder getting built, turned over, and everything. So,
Yeah. Neat.
Seven Wonders Architects.
Oh,
Good pick. Very good pick. My number one is another Quest game, but it's not Cora Quest. It is Kids Quest. Kids Chronicles, Quest for the Moonstones. I almost got it right.
We just started playing this with our daughter.
Oh my gosh, this game is so much fun. So it's reminiscent or kind of built off the Chronicles of Crime. I guess platform engine, right? Where you're going through this kingdom and you have some crime to solve. In this one specifically, you're going on some quest trying to find something, but as you encounter different people, they're going to have problems that you need to solve. So maybe one of them lost their magical staff and you have to go find it. And so you go run into this other creature and you have to ask them a question. And so it has the app integration where you're scanning the QR codes to ask certain people about certain objects and having to link them through your phone. I found that that works really, really well. Getting that app integration in with families, you know, especially again, going more towards the younger kind of crowd. It was so smooth. It was easy to do. My son loved being in control of that and being able to go and make those decisions and then reading it in the silly voices. I think it had enough humor in it that it was engaging, and there was definitely a couple like laugh out loud moments, you know, where he just took a moment, actually laughed out loud, you know, and just found it really engaging and fun, but then also didn't like hold the story back, you know. It was really, really well done. I like the crossover or the, I guess it's a very linear kind of story that you go through, and I like that. So it has that kind of legacy feel to it again, or I guess more campaign. It's a campaign feel to it, you know, where you're going through and you need the information, but you feel like you're playing a really big game over multiple sessions, and you are. And it was very smoothly implemented. It was a lot of fun, and just absolutely wanted to play this over and over and over again, and absolutely loved it. So my number one family game, Kids Chronicles Quest for the Moonstones.
Our daughter really loves when you're looking around the area.
Oh, absolutely.
On the screen, it's totally
so
like
much
all
fun.
around you, and they let you know how many items you were supposed to find.
Right.
And so I really appreciate that. That way she can just do it, and as long as she finds it all, we don't have to double check anything. We don't have, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, she can be completely independent.
And we have a screen, you know, like this behind our game table, and so we would actually mirror the app
that's
up.
smart.
And so like as he's looking, we're like, okay. Oh, is there anything else? Maybe green?
Is there a giant glowing potion? Don't see it? Look to the left.
Is there?
That's
So,
awesome.
not cheating, just
That's awesome.
cooperative.
You know. That's awesome. All right, my number one is Sushi Go Party.
Nice.
This all age ranges, all everybody, wonderful, everything great. Can I say more? Yes. I love.
And I will. I continue now.
Yes. I just like word vomit all my love for this game. I love the very inviting, cute sushi that's going on here. The drafting is very simple. The scoring is on every single card and easy, so that you can, as you have them in your hand, you don't have a lot of questions. There's not a lot of like, ooh, how do I do this? If I do this, what happens? It's so straightforward. It's so clean. It is like my ultimate party game in the sense of like, it's not really a party game, but it plays a lot of people. I played it with the teenagers that I work with. I played it with my daughter. I played it with adults. I played it with everybody. I don't know anybody that doesn't like this game. I haven't met anybody. I'm sure you're out there, and you let me know, okay? But yeah, Sushi Go Party. It's my fave. It definitely deserves to be number one. Most definitely.
I'm having flashbacks to all-you-can-eat conveyor belt sushi,
Oh,
which should not exist, by the way. Buffet style, like just food coming straight towards you until like you don't have to stand up.
You just like
Why should-
stick your head on the
What is your
conveyor belt.
argument that
you
it's
can
not existing? I'm not
Because
understanding.
I'm glad it's up in North Carolina. Like if it was close by, like I would have to roll it.
He would double his
It would
size.
be a
Double his
danger.
size. It would be
a danger.
I
Look at
would.
how cheap you said it cost.
Yeah,
I
it was like,
oh my goodness.
$17 for all you can eat conveyor belt sushi. They don't even make you walk to go get your sushi. You just sit there and
You burn
just keep
0
eating it.
calories instead of
Yeah.
18.
Delicious. I love
That's awesome.
sushi, and I love Sushi Go Party. It's a great game.
Yeah, so that's my number one, Sushi Go Party.
My number one is a game that I often bring out to play with families. I've actually played this game with your family before. And this is Concept Kids. This is the one where you're guessing
Oh, I
animals.
thought about adding those.
This game is so much fun, and I know it says kids on there, but I play this with the whole family. It's just a ton of fun to play with adults. It's a ton of fun to play with kids. But literally, you just have cards that have an animal on there, and then you have this board that's basically showing you colors or different attributes of the animal, where the animal could live, basically the speed of the animal, like how it moves. And you're placing out these little rings on there, and I've played it with kids from the neighborhood. I played it with kids from the kids' school. I've played it with tons of family members. Basically, everybody I've played it with, and I just always have a blast playing it. And the adults can play just as much as the kids. It's fun as an adult to try to put the things out and have the kids guess what animal it is. It's fun as the kids like trying to put the stuff out and have the adults guess what animal it is. And you're like, are you sure? Is it this or is it that? It's just so much fun playing this, and you're kind of like racing to try to get a certain number of animals, but I've had so much fun. It's a game where people can jump in and jump out of really easily as well. It's just one of those games that just works extremely well with families and kids of all ages. And I mean, you can even have fun playing it as an adult just because trying to figure out what are they leaning towards? What is going on here? You know, I've had a ton of fun with Concept Kids.
I thought about having Concept, the more grown-up version
yeah.
on my list, but yeah, this one's great too.
This one's great just because I mean, describing animals is like a thing that almost anybody can do. So it
Anybody
works
can
great.
do, yeah.
So I've had a ton of fun.
Weird
with it.
animals too, like platypus is on there, and you know what I mean,
for
like
sure.
unique
You
stuff.
there's like blue cards that are all like easy animals, and then there's red cards you can add in that makes it a little bit more advanced. It's
Like griffins
Yeah.
and you know.
It's like now you have to try to make them guess a shrimp. It's like okay, well,
that would be hard
its
actually.
antenna, it has a whole lot of legs, but like, you know,
There's
that's
a lot of like, what does it eat?
I guess it's pink,
So,
you know.
yeah, it's not like carnivore or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
This is. Have you played this one?
I haven't. No.
It's fun. It's really fun. This is one that
Here you
Roy
say
actually.
fine. It's fine.
Roy actually let me play this, so
Oh.
yeah, I had
Oh,
fun.
so it's
I
got
played
shared.
with both of y'all and Zatanna, and we played it with Mike, like all together. Like
Interesting.
everybody played it together. It was a lot
Yeah.
of fun. So.
And that's
Huh.
and all of us were engaged, you know, especially when a kid is given a
Right.
clue and you're like, what is it?
Does it live in the water?
It's like give clues faster.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Do you guys have any honorable mentions? Because I know
I have a lot of
I thought of
honorable
a game as we were discussing
really?
this. I was thinking of the adventure games, The Dungeon. They didn't even come to mind, but that game, loved that game.
Well, it doesn't help that the adventure game Volcano Island
Was terrible.
was awful.
Yeah.
Straight up terrible. But adventure game The Dungeon was a really fun little kind of, not a puzzle game, but kind of like a point and click adventure one. Really recommend that, and I
Super
desperately recommend you don't play the volcano.
I don't even. I think the volcano one was broken. Like we couldn't figure out how to finish it.
Interesting.
It was
I
rough.
thought about Hogwarts Battle, Harry Potter Hogwarts
Oh,
Battle,
yeah.
because have gotten a lot of legs out of that, as well as it does have some good strategy. I just found that game to be very long. I was modifying it towards the older years, like the years 5, 6, 7. I was modifying the game for my sanity, you know, like I don't want to play a 2-hour game. You know, it was just so long, and so I thought about that one. Really enjoy it. I love that game, but their implementations I implement for my personal enjoyment, not because of the family. Another one was Stop Thief. That was on my really
yeah.
short list was Stop Thief. Have definitely enjoyed that as a family, and again spanning a lot of ages. Anything else?
Good stuff.
There's a really little roll and write called Quicks, and it's also like
Okay, yeah.
$8
Oh, yeah.
or something like that. That one's a very cute, very fun little roll and write. There's almost nothing to it, and you think, how is this even going to be fun? But it really is. And also, the chat is going to have a collective heart attack if no one here says the word horrified.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good solid one.
It is a
honestly.
good solid one. I did consider it. It was one I considered it, but
I guess I just
It's
have
neat.
experience playing that with gamers and never have actually played that game with my family, so it just hasn't
see,
been
I
as
have,
interesting that
but I
way.
feel like again, going more towards younger, I always end up having to help with the decisions and that kind of stuff, and that's more of where when you say family weight, more of what
where
I'm
your
looking
family
at,
is.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's just I just didn't find it. But again, arguably, my son's not a huge gamer, you know, as you can see from my list, you know, so.
Another one for me was Push. I almost put Push on my list. I actually played that recently at a camp with my teenagers, and it stressed them as all get out. Like I was
wow.
surprised at how stressed they were at that game.
Push them to the limits.
Surprised me.
Awesome. Well, that was a ton of great family games. If there was one we didn't mention here before, make sure to leave that in the comments down below because we'd love to have that interaction and talking about all the different family games and games you really enjoy playing with your family. Well, thanks so much for joining us out here. I've been Roy Cannaday.
I'm Wendy Yi.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I continue to be Chris Yi.
We are who we are. Thank you so much. Have fun playing games with your family.
The youth of the nations.